The original Fallout games had a distinct art style, what people refer to as Gothic. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an expert on art style. I'm probably not very educated at all on it. But I do notice differences, like the original Fallout games being incredibly depressing and desolate, and the new ones being more like a nuclear inconvenience rather than a nuclear apocalypse. The original Fallout games have an art style that stays true to the idea of a world that has advanced to the end of the 21st century, while simultaneously staying stuck in the late 50s and early 60s. The consumer products are stylish with that signature curved 1950s design. The buildings are simple and almost exclusively made up of concrete, and the bunkers are the same but with metals. The military aspect of Fallout isn't affected as much, which makes sense because the military doesn't base their equipment off whatever is stylish at the time. So the weapons line up with our timeline until about the late 80s. There was a change in the art style from Fallout 2 to 3. That's expected, of course. The game changed from top view to first-person gameplay. Old Fallout's art style wasn't perfect, and with Fallout 3, there was some good and some bad changes to it. But where it all started to go downhill was Fallout 4, and as a result Fallout 76. Remember how I talked about old Fallout having massive concrete buildings? This is the realistic growth of the concrete jungles of the 1950s and 60s. In Fallout 4, every building looks like a car. What I mean by that is, it's like someone looked at a 1950s car and thought, what if we made everything in the game with this style? Buildings, guns, vertibirds, tanks. They basically made everything look like it's straight out of a cartoon. Everything is just so round. Look at Fallout 2's vertibird here. It's a military, mechanical, sci-fi looking helicopter. Compare that to Fallout 4's vertibird. It looks like something a child would draw. And yes, I'm aware they are different models, but that doesn't mean it has to look awful. Then you've got the guns. All the guns from old Fallout are basically real guns, but made a little more sci-fi. The ballistic weapons, at least. The energy weapons still mostly look like they're based on real weapon design, but I'm not sure. The guns in Fallout 4, however, well, see for yourself. I shouldn't have to even explain why this weapon is just bad. Old Fallout is set in a futuristic late 1950s and early 60s world. New Fallout is set in a world of what people in the early 1950s would imagine the future to look like. Enough of me ranting though. We're here to talk about Bethesda remedying this problem. A little bit. Obviously, they're not going to just change all the buildings in the game. Fallout 76 being in West Virginia already justifies the buildings a bit, and I'll give a pass to Watoga because it's supposed to be the city of the future. What I want to focus on is much more recent. With the return of the Brotherhood coming soon, we've got and will be getting much more military-themed items. This time, they feel very reminiscent of old Fallout, and seem to be heading in a more modern direction, by which I mean 1980s, but a lot of the military equipment used today was either around or is similar to the equipment in the 80s. A lot of these items are Atomic Shop items, so they're not inherently canon, but that doesn't mean they can't exist in Fallout. It just means at the moment they haven't been confirmed to. So this different style, I think, started with the Mountain Scout outfit and then the Insurgent outfit. Then there was the Screaming Eagle skin, and now the Tropic Thunder skin, which are the service rifle from Fallout New Vegas. And at the moment, we're in the middle of the Armor Ace season, which includes many things like the army floors and the Armor Ace walls, sort of. Then there's the big one, the Brotherhood Field Station. Now this actually is from Fallout 1, but it's nice to see it in 76. Then there's the Brotherhood Spec Ops outfit. The camo used on this was already an outfit in-game, the Brotherhood fatigues, so it's nice to see the military actually used camouflage instead of just flat green all the time. Now, the new items that haven't been released yet, there's a lot of them. Again, there's some floors and walls, and now the Brotherhood camo on power armor. But what I think really looks like old Fallout is these items. Starting with the barricade and locker, these radiate old Fallout vibes. Then we've got this radio backpack. This fits perfectly as something the military would have in Fallout. Then this monster of a structure, remember what I was saying about extreme use of concrete? Well, this certainly does that justice. Next, there's the two weapons, the rocket launcher and the Chimera pistol. These honestly look straight out of Fallout 2. Like if a modder remade Fallout 2 guns in the new engine. It is unfortunate though how everything has the Brotherhood logo plastered on it. It's the same problem with the communist items. I hope there's an option to not have it on at least. The last thing I also wanted to show was the Vault utility room. I get major Control Station Enclave vibes from this. So I did it again. I made a video longer than I originally wanted to be. Mainly due to me going on a massive rant about how I really dislike the new art style for Fallout. And I guess I'm glad I got that off my chest. You might also notice that the pacing in the video, like my voice, it was a little weird and I did make a few screw-ups. That's because the whole thing was just one recording, so I basically had to pause while the mic was literally recording. So, other than that, like, subscribe, see you next time. Oh, and I'll try to get the next video up by Wednesday, maybe.